Sure, sure. So today we will start with our AWS part. Okay, we are done with our Linux. Now
Okay.
let's go ahead and start with AWS.
Yeah.
So first thing first, we will understand about the different structures of AWS in the Solution Architect Associate 2021 program. In this one, we are going to consider certain things like your EC2 part and your storage part, your many other things which is relevant to it. We will start with our S3 portion. Okay. And then while in the process of completion of S3, followed by that, we will be coming back to your EC2, wherein we will have a lot of other activities. So let me share my screen for a minute. Before that, let me also pull down the course content. Okay, so we have discussed about the course and also the identity access management part earlier and the billing dashboard part, right?
Yeah.
Now today we will start with our S3 portion. Okay. Now while you are discussing with your S3, first log into your S3 I mean your AWS console.
Okay.
Remember one thing, from here onwards, you should not forget your Linux. Okay, Linux will take care of a lot of important part. So you make sure you keep practicing your Linux stuff, whatever we have discussed so far. And along with that, you have to update your AWS skill sets.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I will also, I will also practice more with,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So log into your console. While you are logging in, let me start explaining about what things we are going to cover under AWS S3 part. So we have too many things in S3 to discuss. First of all, we need to understand what is S3. Inside S3, what is called as a bucket, what is called as an object, what are the different properties of S3, such as S3 version control. You have your like lifecycle management in Glacier, and followed by that you have your CloudFront. You have object level and server level logging, which has been recently changed by CloudTrail logs and CloudWatch logs in a real-time environment scenario. Besides that, we have S3 event as a property, right? We also have S3 static website hosting. These are the different properties of S3, what we are going to cover it up. Besides this, we also have a lot of other things like cross-region replication, which is an important part of your S3. And we have also the varieties of storage, S3 storage types we have. So we need to discuss that part and how it impacts your billing with regards to the storage that we have in S3. That also we will discuss. Followed by that, there is a real-time scenario activity on production environment, not part of your course as though, but it is also equally important to understand, because in every production environment, you will be dealing with this. That is called encryption. What is S3 encryption? That we will discuss. And besides that, there is a very important phase of your S3 that is called, relevant to your EC2 instances, is called as EFS, or called Elastic File Systems. Okay, this is very much important with regards to your production point of view. So all these things we will discuss today. Okay, clear so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now let's go ahead and discuss about your like, what is that called? S3. Now, what is S3 actually? S3 stands for Simple Storage Services. Now, in the S3, we have, this is S3 is called as virtual storage from AWS perspective. Likewise, if you consider the S3, the other virtual storages in like Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud, the naming convention would be different ways from vendor to vendor, but we are not concerned at this point for others. We are only concerned about AWS virtual storage in the form of S3, right? Now in this S3, what is going to happen? The simple storage services are coming up with few important terminologies such as bucket and objects. Now, what is an S3 bucket? S3 bucket is all about, it's nothing but a kind of container wherein you store files. Now, the files are otherwise called as objects in AWS terminology. So we don't call like upload a file to a bucket, rather we call upload an object to a bucket. Now, these object enterpriserships, it falls on a lot of important things. If you remember correctly, when we discussed our IAM part, I was talking about policies and procedures, right? Yeah. Policies and permissions. So all these policies and permissions within AWS are quoted in .json format or somewhere also YAML format. Okay, so we will be talking about .json format details in this case, right? Now, next thing what we are going to discuss here is about your bucket. Now, what are the different things that we can talk about bucket? First thing first, buckets are globally unique. So as S3, but buckets are globally unique. What does it mean? The bucket names rather are globally unique. That means, for example, if you create a bucket called Srinivas Vangala, then in the entire world, no one else can create a bucket called Srinivas Vangala. So that means the naming convention is very important. Once you have that, then no one else in this world can create it. It is globally unique names. Okay.
Sorry.
Bucket names are globally unique, right? Then next thing comes, you can create buckets as per your requirement. You can create, though it is globally unique, you can create your buckets as per your requirement. You can create buckets in your Northern Virginia region, in your Canada Central region, in your London region, Mumbai region, wherever you want, you can create it. However, if you wish to list them out, you can always list all the buckets across all the regions. That is the beauty of your S3, even though you create in different regions. Third point is buckets are by default not public. They are all private in nature. When you create a bucket, you have that option. While in the process of creation, you can make them public. Else, after creating the bucket also, you can go to their properties and make them public depending upon your requirement. So buckets are not public in nature. They are purely private. However, depending upon your requirement, you can go ahead and make them public. Clear so far?
Oh, yes, sir.
Right. Now, first thing first, let us try to understand how to create a bucket and how does it looks like. Whatever the points we have discussed, let us go ahead and discuss that. Now, for that, you need to go to services. Under services, you have to find under storage, you will find something called as S3, that is simple storage services. Go to the extreme left hand top corner services. Click on services, extreme top, left hand side top corner services. Go up, go up, go up, go up, still up. Yes, just next to that. Next to that, there is something called as services. Yeah, click on that.
Yeah.
Okay. And you see storage. Look for storage over here. Yeah, click on that. And there you see S3, scalable storage in the cloud. Click on that. All right, there you go. So here you have your S3 bucket. Now here in this screen, please remember that the screen has recently changed. Recent in the sense, last 4 to 5 months, the screen has changed. Okay. Now what you need to do here, you need to understand the difference between the older screen as well as the newer screen. In the newer screen, there are certain features that has been redirected from the older to the newer one. And then you can go ahead and do this. For example, there is something mentioned as account snapshot, right? If you wish to keep snapshot of your storages and all this stuff, that can still be a feature, right? At this moment, we do not require it. All we need to do is, you can understand here, in the below page, there is something called bucket. In bracket, it is showing a 0. And then afterwards, there is a refresh button. And then there are 3 important boxes are there which are actually grayed out at this moment. One is copy ARN, then empty, and then delete, right? Now, what is ARN? ARN stands for Amazon Resource Name. That means everything that you create here with regards to the bucket, every bucket will have a Amazon resource name. Resource name from where to where you're creating and how you are integrating with other phases. Such as you also have something called as SNS. If you remember correctly, when we discussed about our billing dashboard, while you are creating with your email, there is also an option called simple notification services. I told you that we will be discussing in detail, so we don't require them. If you remember correctly, right? Now, in this case, we also have SNS, and we will also integrate that in detail, and we'll see that how the notification works. So for that, you also need to have an ARN for the SNS as well, right? Some of the features are unique across the services. So here, ARN stands with regards to your bucket. So this is all S3 buckets ARN names. Then comes your empty and delete button. Empty and delete button, in case of your older screen, you can simply select the bucket and click on delete button. There were no such option called empty in the earlier screen. However, in the newer screen, you have empty button as well as delete button. Reason being is that in the older screen, if you simply click on the bucket and go ahead and hit on delete button, it used to delete the entire bucket. However, with the newer screen, it is no more possible to delete the bucket with contents. If the bucket contains already some content inside it, that means if the bucket contains objects inside it, you would not be able to delete the bucket without making it empty. And hence, there is an empty button. First, you have to select the bucket and empty it first by copying it according to the names. And thereafter, once it is empty, you can again go back and select the bucket and delete it. Without emptying the bucket will not get deleted straight away like the way it used to happen in your older screen. Okay. And then last but not the least, there is an option called your create bucket, and below also you have that option create bucket. So right now you do not have any buckets in your screen. So let's go ahead and click on that amber like button, create bucket. Okay, so here is the screen where you need to do the things. Now in the top line, you can see we are continuing to improve S3 console to make it faster and easier to use. If you have feedback on updated experience, choose provide feedback. Okay, so this is where the newer screen comes into existence, and you have to give some names. Okay, you can simply click on that cross button in the above so that it will go off. All right, now the create bucket screen is in front of you. Right now, you say give a name called Srinivas. Very important. The bucket name cannot be capital letters or uppercases. Mind it. Okay. Or any underscore or any such things, it will not accept. Okay, so give a name called Srinivas. Now what I told you, the bucket name should be globally unique. That means if Srinivas bucket name is already existing in this world, you would not be able to do that, right? Now you simply scroll till to the end and try to create it. We will see that whether it is existing or not.
Mostly it might exist with a very common name.
Right? So you see that bucket with the same name already exists, right? And it cannot create it. So that the first points which I told you, it satisfies the criteria. Now what you need to do is give a unique name over there. For example, Srinivas, give today's date.
Can I put numbers?
Yeah, number you can put. Say like today is like 27th, right? Say 27th. This also might be possible, right? So give the today's date, 27th 12 2021. Okay, now if you just the first point is satisfied, right? And we will see that whether it is okay or not. Now the next point comes is your region, right? In the region, you can see all the regions are listed over here, right? And the most important thing, if you go to the next to your account name, there is something called global. Come out. You see in the black border, you can see your name is there, and next to that you have global. You see everything is grayed out. What does this mean? This means S3 do not require any region specific. It is global in nature, just like your naming convention IAM. It is also here global in nature, doesn't require any region specific. However, you can create your buckets whichever region you want to create it. That is where one of the feature of your S3 CRR, that is called cross region replication, will come into existence. Now what we are going to do here is AWS region. You can select if you wish to change it somewhere else. You can select the drop down and change your region. If not, you can leave it as it is as Northern Virginia. Next point is choose bucket for existing bucket optionals. That we are not concerned at this moment. We do not have any existing bucket to take its property. Leave it as it is. Object ownership, right? Here is the case ACLs enabled recommended, ACLs enabled. So this is a new feature, which is not a new feature though, but it is something additionally they have added it. Control ownership of objects returned to this bucket from other AWS accounts and granted using the ACL content. ACL stands for access control list, okay, which enables you to control your own account along with the other account. For the time being, it is disabled. Let it be disabled status only. We are not bothered about other accounts because we are only concerned about our own account at this moment. Leave it as it is. But remember, this object ownership is a new feature added to your S3 bucket. Scroll down, and then comes your access type, block public access settings. No. Scroll up. Don't be so fast. Scroll down a little bit. Scroll down a little bit more. Wait. Now, here you can see I have also told you one point. The buckets are not public in nature by default. They are private in nature, and depending upon your requirement, you can either go ahead and make them public while in the process of creating of your bucket or afterwards as well. Now you have one option called here tick mark, block all public access. If you remove this point, then this will become public while in the process of creation. Now, if you do not remove it, it will remain like this. So what we will do, first of all, let us not remove it and leave it as it is. And when you create another bucket, you will see how it is going to work it out. Okay, so leave it as it is. Then comes bucket versioning. We are not going to touch it now. We will discuss in detail about versioning, which is a property of your bucket. At this moment, we will leave it as it is. Tags, if you wish to give, you can give. Otherwise, it is not important. It is not essential at this moment. It is an optional point for you to do that. Encryption also, we will leave it as default, disabled. We will talk about, it's a subject. We will talk in detail about it. Click on advanced settings. Here you have object log for the subject to the return read write fetcher, which we don't require it at this moment. So leave it as it is. In case anyone wanted to access your point or something like that, we do not want to do that. So leave it as it is. Now, lastly, you go ahead and click on create bucket. So you see that there is a bucket created on your name called Srinivas 2712-2021 under AWS region US East Northern Virginia. And the access type is bucket and objects not public. That means they are purely private in nature, right? And creation date, you can see that December 27, 2021. Now the question comes here, would I be able to make this bucket as public? Then the next thing will come, if at all I will not make it public and leave it as it is, and I wanted to upload an object to this bucket, will I be able to access that object? The answer, simple answer is no. Unless and until you make your bucket as public, anything with regards to that bucket, whatever you will do, it will not be allowing you to do any kind of access to this particular bucket. Okay, so let us see the one way of doing this. Select the bucket first. Go inside the bucket, click on that, Srinivas 2711, click on that. All right, now we have to make this as a public one, right? Now there is an option called permission tab. In the above, you have a couple of tabs, right? Now before you go each tab, let's understand each tab. First you click on objects. Let's understand this. So objects, here you will upload the files or folders, whatever you want, you can upload here. Now all the files and folders, everything, whatever you upload into this particular bucket are called as objects only. We will talk about objects shortly. Who is this lady? I don't know who are not joining. Okay, so next thing what we will do is about our properties tab, right? So I told you few properties of buckets. Now if you click on properties tab, you can see here bucket overview, then comes, slowly scroll down, you will see that bucket versioning, and then you will see tags, then you will see default encryption, then there is very important thing, intelligent tiering, archive configuration, then you will see server access logging, and then you will see your event AWS CloudTrail data events, which has been replaced as like your object level logging earlier, which is known as, now it has been replaced with the name called AWS CloudTrail data events, then event notifications, right? And other things like transfer acceleration. These are not something which you will be dealing with day in, day out on your production environments. However, these are something important things of the properties of the things. And the lastly, you will see static website hosting. All right, now scroll to the top and let's go to the fourth tab, that is metrics. Okay, so here it talks like how many buckets, how many bucket size, what is the object size, all the details you will see it over here with regards to the access or with regards to the objects that you're uploading and all the details. Similarly, you have something called management, where we will talk about your CRR, that is your lifecycle rules, and also your replication rules. Okay, cross region replication, we will be talking about this subject as and when we progresses. There is something called inventory configuration also, which is a new feature that has been added into this, but not yet being like utilized in the production environment. If you scroll to the top, the last one is your access points, right? So this is something which you also use with regards to your VPC, that is your private cloud. When you create it with regards to VPC, you also create access points and try to access your storage from the private VPCs as well. This is also a feature. Now the third tab is your metrics, sorry, your permissions. Click on the third tab. So here what happens, you have permissions overview. You can see that access is now bucket and objects not public. Then you have block public access, which we need to enable it now, right? If you scroll down a little bit, you have something called as bucket policy. Okay, right now there is nothing else being assigned to this bucket policy. You can see that bucket policy written in JSON provides access to the object stored in this bucket. That means however you will apply the bucket policy, based on that your things will start working. Now this is where you will create your own policy of your encryption. That is where you are going to apply on top of your buckets, and that's where we will see about your encryption subject. Okay, now at this point of time, what we are going to do, we are going to edit the block public access, that is bucket settings. Click on edit over there, and you see all your public accesses are blocked. It is private. So deselect that option, block all public access, and then slowly scroll down and click on save changes. Okay, you have to type here confirm, and then click on confirm. All right, now you can see successfully edited block public access. If you go to your bucket straight away, go to buckets, Amazon S3, click on Amazon S3 above, and now see the status of access. Objects can be public. Earlier it was objects are not public. Now what will happen if you wish to create the same bucket with the same name? Is it possible? Definitely no, because you already have one in your bucket. Now what I want you to do, I told you two things. One is the empty button and the delete button. Right now you do not have anything in this bucket, right? So I will straight away go ahead and delete this particular bucket. Click on delete and type the bucket name over there. Just copy and paste it otherwise. Delete bucket. It will delete because the bucket do not contain any kind of objects or files inside it, right? So that's where it got deleted. Now let us create a new bucket with the same name again, and you should be able to do that. Sometimes it might take some time, but yeah, you should be able to do that. Wait. Go up. Go up. Now this time, what I'll do, I will remove the public access while creating itself. Okay, so remove that tick mark and you have to acknowledge it. Okay, if you scroll down, you will have a warning message. Select that option, I acknowledge, and now go ahead and create it. There you go, right? And the access type you can see here is straight away public, right? Objects can be public straight away here, right? Any questions so far on bucket?
No, sir.
Clear, right? All right. Now
Yeah,
let's
clear,
go inside the bucket.
Sir, just one doubt have. Yeah, here. So why is it required to empty the bucket?
This is a new feature. Earlier, what used to happen, without emptying, you can directly delete that. This is a feature of bucket.
Means by emptying or by deleting, the objects are gone, right?
You cannot delete it. By default, you cannot delete it. Okay, if your buckets will have contents, in the sense, when your buckets will have objects inside it, you cannot simply delete it. We will see that now. We'll create and see that how it is going to happen. Okay, this is a new feature added to your new screen of S3. Empty option was not there earlier. It was directly deleting. But with the newer screen, they have added a new feature called empty.
Means in the previous version, you said there is no empty.
Not version.
So,
it is not version. It is a feature of S3.
So in the previous feature, but emptying feature, what is the advantage of it?
Emptying feature in the sense, say for example, if you do not want to deal something else, for some objects are important, right? And by default, you did not realize and you delete it in the earlier screen, right? So it will delete everything. And then you realize, no, I required something, you cannot get back, right? Now that is where the emptying option will allow you to understand whether you really want to keep those objects or not. So with that feature, if you really want, you can still move them to some other like objects or something, and then you can empty and delete it. Like that is the feature of your empty characteristics.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so now let's go inside the bucket. So what are the features of bucket? Can you tell me now?
So the bucket is universally unique.
Correct.
And the private bucket, whatever it has, we can't access anything.
Correct.
So we have to make it public.
Correct.
And so these two are important. And yeah, it is also global.
It is global and it cannot be private, public by default.
Public by default.
Okay. So let us go inside the bucket and let us understand about objects now. What is an object? Anything you create inside an object, inside a bucket, is called as an object. Okay, so you can see that objects are fundamental entities stored in Amazon S3. You can use anything that you would like to. 1 second. All right. So now here we are going to create an object. You can create a folder, a file, or whatsoever. It is all called as object. Now, before you go ahead and do an object, go to your desktop, minimize the screen and go to your desktop. Minimize the screen. Yeah. Create here, first create a folder. Inside the folder, you create a, name it anything, that's fine. Say S3, S3. Go inside it. Okay, and create a file here called Srinivas. New. Right click, new. Rich text document. Name it as Srinivas.
Okay.
That's okay. You can remove that txt. It will by default take. That's not a problem. Rename, right click, rename. Right click, rename.
Yeah.
Simply remove everything. No need to give that txt also. Remove everything and type it as Srinivas.
Okay.
Yeah, just enter. Oh, it is saying unusable. Okay, okay. Then give it as txt. Okay, I think your format is different. Right click. No. Just right click that icon.
1 minute. Yeah.
Rename. Okay, it's not showing. Okay, delete it. Delete it. Delete it.
Rename. No, sir. Srinivas.txt.
.txt. Okay, that's fine. Enter. Okay, go inside the file.
Yeah.
And type something and save it. Save it. All right. Now let's go back to your console. Now, what is an object? As I told you, objects can be a file or a folder, right?
Yeah.
Now, it is also important, objects do follow certain parameters of your JSON policy. Okay. What does it mean? When I say certain parameters of your JSON policy, when you are uploading an object to the bucket, it is falling under certain activities of your JSON format scripting. Okay. For example, there is something called as put object. I repeat, it is called as put object. Now, what is put object? Don't type there. You will not find anything. You will understand that. Now, what is put object? Put object means you are uploading something to the bucket. That is falling under put object. Delete object. Get object. Right? These are the different parameters of your JSON format scripting. Right? While in the process of doing this, we will be going through all these activities. Okay, that is the first point you must remember with regards to an object that you are going to upload into the bucket. Again, very important point, objects are also by default not publicly open. They are purely private in nature. Okay, objects are not public in nature, they are private in nature. Okay. If you wish to make them public, you have to give read access permissions to the objects, then it will be becoming public. Fourth point, all the objects are supported with an exclusive and unique object URL. Okay, all the objects are provided with an exclusive and unique object URL. That means if you click on that object URL and if you have necessary read permissions, then you would be able to see that page or able to download that page depending upon your access you have. Okay, so these are the features of your object. Now, what I'm expecting you to do now, simply go ahead and click. You see here that there are options changed here. Now you can see copy S3 URL, copy URL, then download, then open, and then delete, right? So these are the few things. Delete options were not there in the older screen. They brought it into existence with the newer screen. Okay. Similarly, there is an option called action, right? If you select the drop down on action after delete, okay, you see most of the options are grayed out here, right? Now, earlier what used to happen, within this action your delete button used to be there. Now they have taken out this delete button outside. You have copy option, move option, all those options are there in the action. There is also an option, if you select the action button, select the drop down of action, scroll to the end, you will see some option called as make public. Okay, make public via ACL. That is the new feature they have made it. Okay, you can either you can give public access by using make public via ACL, or you can also select the option, select the bucket, select the object, go inside it, go to the properties of that, and also make it or give it read permissions. So all these options are available over here. You can see edit actions, rename object, edit storage classes, server encryption. All these details we will be discussing as and when we progresses with regards to our different properties of your S3. Okay, now what we will do here is, let us go ahead and upload. Create folder option is also there for some other varieties of things. If you want to give access, for example, the videos which we are creating, right? The daily videos after the recording videos which I'm uploading to your drive, right? Now, instead of uploading it to the drive, I want you to access it from the S3 console itself. So what I'll do, I'll create a folder over here, and inside the folder, I will upload all the videos. Okay, and then I will give access to you. Then what will happen? It will be giving me an URL. You can simply click on that URL and you can see all your videos over there. Okay, so this is how your things works in your bigger environments, bigger companies where the academics work. They used to do like this kind of activities. Now, what are the pros and cons? There are no such cons as such, but the only thing it will come is your billing. It will raise your billing like anything because you are putting contents inside your bucket. They are not free of cost. If you keep contents inside your bucket, that means if you keep objects of certain limits within your bucket, then it's not going to be free of cost. It's going to be chargeable for you. Keep that in mind. Okay. Now, the first thing first, what we will do is we will upload an object into this bucket. So click on upload the Ember button over there.
Yes, sir.
And upload the one which you have. Click on add files. And click the file which you have just now created in the desktop.
S3.
Yeah. Select that and open. Okay. Now scroll down. Scroll down and you have to upload it now.
Here I don't even.
No need to select anything. Just simply click on upload. Okay. It is showing uploading here. What is the difference in your older screen and the newer screen? In older screen, you used to get a message called success code 200. I repeat, success code 200. That means in entire AWS, 200 is the number which is being presented as a success code. Okay, any activity you perform within AWS, especially S3, it is called as 200 success code, which is not appearing in this page. Okay, but it is, you have to remember this, you have to memorize this. 200 is the success code for S3. However, any other code, any other things happens, then it is failure. Okay. Now this is the information what you can see here. You can just go ahead and click on close button. And now you have the object uploaded into your bucket. You can see the name is srinivas.txt, type is txt, last modified, size, and the storage class. So we will be talking about storage class as and when we progresses. Let us click on the name of the object, that is srinivas.txt, and identify the different things associated with it. All right. So there you go. You can see that now everything is, scroll to the top. You see everything is enabled. Scroll to the top. S3 URL, copy S3 URL is enabled. Download is enabled. Open is enabled. Object actions. Click on object actions.
Object actions. Yeah.
If you come to the end, you see there are a lot of options. Make public via SQL is not enabled at this moment because you came inside that. Okay. So there are other options like query, edit, storage, all these things are there. We are not bothered at this time on these activities. Now let us come to the other side. Click outside. I told you already that the object properties, click outside. Click outside. The object properties are relevant to your JSON query, right? Some of the property of the JSON query. Okay. So here, if you scroll, if you be here in this page itself, you see the owner name is Srinivas Vangala 999. That is none other than your account name. Okay. Then comes your AWS region, which is US East Northern Virginia. That is US East -1, right? Last modified when you have uploaded. Size is 11 GB. Type is TXT. After that, there is one more point called as key. Key is name as Srinivas.txt. Now in JSON, the name is represented as key value pair. That is the name how you have to identify. Now, for example, I asked you to upload an object called srinivas.txt, and I want you to find these logs, what you have uploaded in S3 in my CloudWatch log. Then how will you identify? You have to go through certain parameters. Which parameters? The JSON parameters. If you type there srinivas.txt, the JSON will not recognize. They don't know who is srinivas.txt or what object it is, right? So in JSON scripting, there is only one word which identifies is key, K-E-Y. That key is indirectly or directly representing to the name of the object. So you have to search with a parameter called key. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Are you with me? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We have to search with the format called key.
Correct. So key is nothing but the name of the object here. And then you have S3 URL, then you have Amazon resource name, which we have seen it already. And there is a tag, entity tag. This tag is also part of your JSON. This is a unique name, unique tag associated with each and every key that you created. That means each and every object that you created, it will be a unique. Most important thing, the last one is your object URL. Now, what is object URL? Object URL should be represented as https:// your name of the object, name of the bucket .s3.amazonaws.com / your key name or your object name. So I repeat again, it is https:// bucket name.amazonaws.com / the object name. Okay, this is going to be also your interview question as well as your exam questions. In exams, you will have 4 to 5 URLs. You have to identify the right URL with regards to the object that you have uploaded. Similar is the case in your interviews as well. What is an object URL? You need to be very specific in explaining the object URL. An object URL is nothing but combination of your object, your bucket name with regards to amazonaws.com followed by the key name of JSON or the object name that has been uploaded to the bucket. Clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. Now let us try to access this object URL, right? So click on that URL.
Yeah.
You will see that it is saying code access denied because we have just uploaded the object, but we have never ever given any kind of permissions to this particular object. Now, in order to access this particular, hit back again. Okay, so you have two options here. One, either if you click back again, not back, go to the Srinivas, go to your bucket, bucket. I said bucket.
Go to your bucket.
What is your bucket name?
Yes.
Click on that. Okay, so here you have the option name. Select your bucket first, square box. Select your text file.
Yes, sir.
Now click on action.
Okay.
Scroll down. So here also it is not enabled. Okay, click outside and click on that srinivas.txt.
Yeah.
Okay, object actions. Click on object actions.
Here also.
Here it is also not editable. All right, so let's go to the tab called permissions. Permissions tab, there itself, after properties, there is a tab called permissions. Okay, now this is your access control list permissions tab. Okay, first of all, we need to scroll down. There is nothing else. We have to give public access. So click on edit here. Oh, edit option is grayed out.
Yeah, grayed out.
Okay, so this is something new feature they have given. The bucket has bucket owner enforce setting applied object owners is when bucket owners enforced is applied. Use bucket policies to control access. Okay, go to properties. Go to properties tab. Come down, scroll down. Wait. So one is bucket properties. No, we don't require. Exception rule, we don't require. Scroll down, slowly scroll down. Scroll up, scroll up. Scroll up. Wait. Okay, go up. Click on object actions. Okay, so this is a new feature that they have added it. Probably we have to identify this one, block public access settings for this account. Okay, in the left hand side there is something called as block public access settings for this account. Click on that, left hand side. Yeah, click on that. Scroll down. Now this is the public access for this bucket. No, not this one. Okay, go to buckets. So here you have to make some essential changes. Now what are the essential changes? If you go inside the bucket, we have discussed how to make it as public, right? It is already public, right? Now if you go to permissions tab here, you have something called as, scroll down, something called as bucket policy. Okay, right now you do not have any bucket policy over here. Okay, so we have to write a temporary bucket policy in order to do that. Scroll down. Wait, there is something called object ownership. Click on that edit button on object ownership. Okay, so here it is saying, you remember, right? While we are creating the bucket, this is a new feature which has been enabled. Now click on ACL enabled over here. Acknowledge. Scroll down. Save changes. Okay, now go to the objects again. Go inside srinivas.txt. Now click on object actions. You see it is activated now. Okay, now instead of creating that, you click on permissions tab.
Yeah.
Okay, here also you can see there is an edit button which is enabled now. Okay, so this is a very new feature which has been added maybe like a weekdays time, last 1 week this has been added. Okay, this feature was not there earlier. Okay, so this is a new feature which has been added to your S3 bucket. You simply cannot go ahead and enable the object permissions unless and until you enable it at the bucket level. Now the object's ownership is not lying with object itself, it is lying with the bucket owner itself. Okay, now you click on edit over here. Okay, and you can see everyone public access, right? Select that read option there, first option. Okay, and now simply come down, acknowledge I understand, and save changes. Okay, now go to the object URL and click on it. Click on the object URL.
Yes.
There you go. You can see that you are able to access it now. Okay, similar is the way. Yeah, similar is the way. If you go back, instead of going and doing there, you can also simply go to object actions and make public on S3 URL, which one is there already, right? Make public via ACL. This is also possible. If you click on that, you have to type the object name, find the object name, and then simply select on make public. No, not required any typing. It is already there. simply click on make public, which you have already done it.
Yes.
Okay. So click on make public. That's enough. Or cancel it. Cancel it. Okay. Fail to edit public access because it's already public. Nothing is there. Click on close. Click on close. All right. Now then you have given all the public access to your object. Let us go back to your bucket. Okay. Let us go inside the bucket. Bucket. I said bucket, not object.
Okay, this is object. So
Yeah. Go inside the bucket. Click on permission tab. Click on permissions tab. Slowly scroll down. Edit public access bucket settings. Block all public access. Save changes. Confirm. Click on confirm. Go back to the bucket. Go back to the bucket straight away. Go to the bucket. Click on Amazon S3 at the top.
Amazon S3 at the top. Going back to bucket.
Now see what is the status of your bucket. It is not public, right? Go inside the bucket.
Inside the bucket.
Yeah. Inside the bucket, Srinivas 27. Yeah. Go inside it. Now go inside
the object.
Yes, go inside the object. Yeah. And now click the object URL.
Not visible. Okay, access denied.
Right? Why? You have already given the make public permissions to the object. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? You have already given permissions to this as a everyone permission. Correct?
Yeah.
But even after that, you are unable to access the object. This is because the object permissions, everything is controlled by your bucket. Everything has been destined by your bucket itself. The object definition has been subject to your bucket access only. At the bucket level, you have already given no permissions to the bucket as a public. So no way you can access your object. Even if you give the access permissions to your object, you still cannot access it. This is very important point that you must remember.
Sure.
Okay. So these are the features of your buckets and objects. How you go ahead and deal with these objects and ownership and all these things. This is something which you need to identify and do it. Any questions so far?
So first thing, sir, here we have discussed about how to make the private bucket into a public bucket, and how to make the objects into private or public. Means, right, sir?
That is correct.
And of course, the objects are chargeable if it is exceeding certain limit.
Correct.
And, so
now the last part, you are asking about empty, right? Select the bucket now. Select the bucket now.
Select the bucket. Okay.
No, not there. Select the round button. Go back.
Amazon S3.
Yeah. Select the round button.
Round button.
And try to delete.
We are getting it. We are
try to delete it. Try to delete it. What you message you are getting, you see that.
This bucket is not empty.
Absolutely. This is a new feature. This is a new feature with regards to the.
Okay. Just it reminds us that we accidentally don't delete a icon. Just like that.
So you have to ensure that all your buckets. That means what it is saying, it is giving you a warning message. You go back, go inside the bucket, see if anything is important for you. Keep it safe. If not, first empty it. Click on empty.
Empty.
Permanently delete. Type here permanently delete. That means you are going to delete everything in your bucket. Remember that there is an option called go to lifecycle rule configuration. Okay. Now what is lifecycle rule configuration? This will allow you to keep it for your future reference. Okay. As a legacy. Okay, this is
Your bucket
something
condition large number of objects, creating life cycle rule to delete objects might be more efficient way of emptying your bucket.
correct. So this is something which you will be doing it. I will be explaining to you, and you will be understanding. Once you understand your storage types, you will do this. It's just to change the days and all this stuff. Nothing else is there. But this is something which will come in your exam part, but not in your real-time activities. So go ahead and click on empty first. Okay, it is done. Now click on exit. Okay, now select the option and click on delete. Type it and then click on delete bucket. So this is how your bucket and your objects goes together.
Yeah.
Okay, so the features of buckets and the features of objects, you must remember this. Make notes of it, listen to the recordings, and try to create those as you when progresses. Okay, so with this we will stop it here today. Tomorrow we will go with the other features of your S3 bucket, and while doing the S3 buckets, you listen and make your notes on this one, and then we will go it for the further things. Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing is like yeah, that's fine. Let's go ahead with the S3 buckets properties first. Then we will go to your EC2. So you are well versed with EC2 launching and everything, right? Any questions?
EC2 launching, nothing is there.
Nothing is there, right? Okay, fine. Because after this, not everything will be on the bucket part. There is also relevance to your EC2 part also. So we will be interacting between S3 and EC2. Okay. So you have to be well versed with all those things. Then we will go ahead and discuss all these things. Okay.
Okay.
So tomorrow also we will connect same time, 2 o'clock only. This entire week we will try to connect on 2 o'clock. And today I have another interview now. So otherwise I would have continued for another half an hour. Or tomorrow we'll see. If there is no interview, I will continue. Otherwise, I don't know whether the interviews comes on same time or something. If not, we will continue for some more time. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Take care. We'll connect tomorrow then 2 o'clock. Thanks, man. Bye.
Sure. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye.